After dying unjustly, a woman's soul leaves her body. Her blood drips onto the snow, blooming into bright roses. She follows the roses to a strange door named Murder Hell. The woman, named Kang Bit-na, was a judge. Due to a system error at her death, she was wrongly sent to the hell for judging murderers. She recounts her wrongful death and seeks justice from the infernal judge who dismisses her claims, believing she lies. She faces severe punishment. Hell's Baal reprimands the demon judge, Justicia, for wrongful killings. As punishment, Baal sends Justicia into the severely injured woman's body to judge 10 unforgivable sinners on earth. If she fails, she will die. Defiant Justicia is forced to comply when Baal stabs her with a transformed tentacle. Blindfolded, she uses the demon's eye to see the woman's murder in a park. Understanding the situation, she picks up the woman's judge ID and enters her body, assuming her identity on Earth. Awakening from a stabbing, Kang Bit-na seems different. The court mandates a medical check where she confesses to being a demon in a human judge's body, only to be diagnosed with delusional disorder. She handles her first case differently, casually drinking cola and sitting relaxed on the judge's bench. She listens to Officer Han Da-in describe a scene where he subdued a violent suspect with a knife. The suspect, lightly fined and released, sues Han Da-in for injuring his hand while disarming him. The prosecutor confirms the injury, claiming it prevents proper dining. Kang Bit-na suggests he could starve instead, shocking the courtroom. She defends Han Da-in's use of force against an armed suspect as normal. The prosecutor, influenced by personal connections, accuses Han Da-in of excessive force. Kang Bit-na reveals the truth, pointing out the prosecutor's bias due to personal connections. Han Da-in is acquitted, grateful to Kang Bit-na. Exiting the court, Kang Bit-na is questioned by children about justice. She declares that the world's true terror isn't hell but humanity itself, proclaiming that justice is dead. Han Da-in, shocked yet thankful, offers his card for future contact, which Kang Bit-na memorizes instantly. She returned the business card, stuffing her taken-off judge's robe into Han Da-in's hands to send back to her office. Kang Bit-na went to a church and found a woman named Cha Min-jong, who had often been harshly treated by her boyfriend after falling in love. Han Da-in, who was handling her case, had advised Cha Min-jong to sue her boyfriend, but she was repeatedly threatened and feared for her life, leading her to issue a letter of forgiveness out of fear. At the church, Cha Min-jong prayed for her boyfriend to leave her alone. Kang Bit-na warned her not to expect an abuser to suddenly repent. Instead of relying on divine intervention, Kang Bit-na urged her to share the details with her. Cha Min-jong didn't believe Kang Bit-na could handle Moon Jong-jun, fearing even harsher treatment, and quickly left. Kang Bit-na followed her to continue persuading her, which attracted the attention of a patrolling police officer. Cha Min-jong claimed she didn't know Kang Bit-na, who then pulled out all her identification. Unexpectedly, her hospital diagnosis fell out. She was immediately taken back to the police station where Han Da-in saw her and, learning that she was investigating Cha Min-jong's case, released her. The next day, in the court hearing for Cha Min-jong's case, Moon Jong-jun's defense lawyer admitted the assault, but denied any threats. Moon Jong-jun tearfully claimed his actions were out of love and fear of losing his girlfriend. The hearing concluded with a 1-year imprisonment sentence, and Moon Jong-jun sobbed during his final statement, professing his love for Cha Min-jong. On the final judgment day, Kang Bit-na would deliver the verdict. Outside the court, Moon Jong-jun smirked evilly in front of Cha Min-jong's parents. Han Da-in, aware of Moon Jong-jun's lack of remorse, reported this to Kang Bit-na, hoping for the maximum legal penalty. Kang Bit-na requested to meet Cha Min-jong's parents alone to hear the true story firsthand. They explained that every time Moon Jong-jun was jailed, he was quickly released, driving Cha Min-jong to despair and forced forgiveness. They believed Moon Jong-jun would seek her out once released, and pleaded with Kang Bit-na to save their daughter. Seeing Cha Min-jong's mother crying, Kang Bit-na, lacking emotions as a demon, ran to the restroom to apply lipstick under her eyes, simulating tears. Red-eyed, she assured them that Moon Jong-jun would face proper justice. Days later at the final judgment, Kang Bit-na confirmed the assault by Moon Jong-jun. However, considering Cha Min-jong's plea for leniency and Moon Jong-jun's promise to reform, she fined him 3 million Korean won. The audience disapproved, and Moon Jong-jun was pleased. Han-da questioned Kang Bit-na about whom the loss serves, knowing that Cha Min-jong's forgiveness was due to fear and why she backtracked on making Moon Jong-jun pay. Kang Bit-na admitted her inability to empathize with the victim, but insisted on holding Moon Jong-jun accountable. She then drove away. Han-da and Cha Min-jong's parents visited her, urging her to leave with them. Cha Min-jong, having lost hope, locked herself in her room, refusing to see anyone. For her safety, Han-da gave her a phone watch, instructing her to contact him immediately if anything happened. Back at the police station, colleagues were displeased with Han-da's excessive focus on Cha Min-jong. They felt they had fulfilled their duties, and that spending more time on this case would hinder other cases. Han-da wanted to argue, but his mother, the police chief, told him to limit his visits to Cha Min-jong to once a day. Days passed without Moon Jong-jun causing any trouble for Cha Min-jong. Kang Bit-na, waiting for Moon Jong-jun to act, was reminded by a subordinate, also a demon, that she could use the demon's eye to track him. She wrote Moon Jong-jun's name on a mirror and saw him at Cha Min-jong's doorstep. She immediately set out to act. After several peaceful days, Cha Min-jong, looking at the happy lives of people below her apartment, decided to step out. She called her father to pick her up. Soon, the doorbell rang. Cha Min-jong, cautious, asked who it was, but the visitor had covered the video intercom with tape, leaving only voice function. The person claimed to be Han-da's police colleague delivering something. Cha Min-jong opened the door to find Moon Jong-jun standing outside. After Moon Jong-jun left, he encountered Kang Bit-na in the alley. She indicated she had something to discuss and beckoned him over. Suspicious, Moon Jong approached. Kang Bit-na, with a blade hidden behind her back and a hellish glow in her eyes, was ready to send this unforgivable sinner to hell. At the critical moment, Han-da arrived, disrupting her plan. Meanwhile, Cha Min-jong's parents had reached their daughter's place and saved her. An angry Han-da, disregarding his police role, was about to attack Moon Jong-jun. But Kang Bit-na stopped him, reminding him that assaulting someone as a public servant is misconduct. At this point, other police officers arrived and took Moon Jong-jun back to the station. Han-da blamed Judge Kang Bit-na for Moon Jong-jun's actions, as she hadn't acted decisively. Kang Bit-na felt she wasn't at fault, stating she had followed legal procedures. And blamed the country's laws. Han-da pressured Moon Jong-jun to confess, but Moon Jong-jun claimed Cha Min-jong had allowed him into her room willingly, and that their conflict was just a couple's quarrel, which made it hard to convict him. The police had to release him. To protect Cha Min-jong, Han-da and his mother applied for a warrant to arrest Moon Jong-jun. But Kang Bit-na dismissed it without reason. Han-da had no choice but to closely monitor Moon Jong-jun, and provided Cha Min-jong's family with phone watches to contact him immediately if anything unusual happened. But as soon as he left, Moon Jong-jun came downstairs, smeared the peephole, and attempted to break in to seek revenge on Cha Min-jong's family. At a crucial moment, Moon Jong-jun received a text message, read it, and left. When Han-da knocked on Cha Min-jong's door again, the family could not see who it was through the peephole, and thought it was another trick by Moon Jong-jun. To protect his wife and daughter, Cha Min-jong's father, armed with a knife, rushed out ready to fight to the death. Only when he recognized Han-da did he collapse on the ground, crying. Han-da entered the room to talk with the family, and received a call from a colleague informing him of Moon Jong-jun's death 12 hours earlier. Moon Jong-jun had tried to force his way into Cha Min-jong's home when he unexpectedly received a message from Cha Min-jong, asking not to involve her parents, and proposing to meet him alone. Moon Jong-jun arrived at the agreed location, and took out a hammer he was carrying. He called out for Cha Min-jong. Instead of Cha Min-jong, Kang Bit-na came down the stairs. Kang Bit-na informed Moon Jong-jun that the real trial was now starting. She questioned if Moon Jong-jun admitted to attempting to kill Cha Min-jong. Moon Jong-jun argued that Cha Min-jong was not dead and was willing to forgive him. Kang Bit-na believed that his crime against Cha Min-jong was psychological harm. Cha Min-jong would suffer for life, which was no different from murder. Kang Bit-na pulled out a blade and pressed Moon Jong-jun again to confess. Moon Jong-jun denied killing anyone and ran away in fear. When he opened the door, he entered another world. Kang Bit-na appeared before him, welcoming him to her world. She told him that everything he had done would now befall him, as per the rules of hell. Moon Jong-jun was enchanted by Kang Bit-na's hellish gaze, and they became a couple. Moon Jong-jun told Kang Bit-na he couldn't finish the salad on the table. Suddenly, Kang Bit-na angrily stuffed the salad into his mouth and slapped him hard. Moon Jong-jun wanted to leave, but Kang Bit-na knelt and pleaded, claiming her actions were out of love. Frightened by her behavior, Moon Jong-jun suggested breaking up. Kang Bit-na slapped him, knocking him to the ground. Moon Jong-jun tried to fight back but was beaten up by Kang Bit-na. She picked up a baseball bat and reminded Moon Jong-jun that this was just the beginning before smashing it into his face. Terrified, Moon Jong-jun hid in a room and called the police for help. Kang Bit-na was taken to the police station but warned him they would meet soon. Days later, Moon Jong-jun returned home and found Kang Bit-na there. He questioned how she found his new home and attempted to call the police with his watch. Kang Bit-na threatened him, claiming even if she went to jail, it would be brief and she would kill him when released. She punched Moon Jong-jun in the face, saying that was the price for calling the police. Moon Jong-jun compromised, promising not to call the police, and begged for a breakup. Enraged, Kang Bit-na knocked him down, declaring he could never escape her grasp until death. Moon Jong-jun, tormented, only sought relief. Kang Bit-na refused to easily forgive him and cut the rope. As Moon Jong-jun fell to the ground, he returned to the real world. Kang Bit-na explained that everything was part of a hellish trial to make the perpetrator feel the victim's pain and admit his crimes. Moon Jong-jun refused to confess and tried to escape, but he was no match for Kang Bit-na. After being severely beaten, Moon Jong-jun knelt and admitted his crimes. Kang Bit-na waited for this confession. Her eyes turned purple again, and she materialized her weapon, finishing off Moon Jong-jun. Then, using the handle of her knife, she branded Moon Jong-jun's forehead with a hellish mark. The gates of hell appeared on the rooftop, and Moon Jong-jun's soul was sucked into the murderer's hell. Kang Bit-na completed her first murder mission. An assistant called hellish minions to throw Moon Jong-jun's body outside and cleaned the crime scene in a way that left no clues for the police. Han Da-eun examined the brand on Moon Jong-jun's forehead and discovered it meant hell. This revelation led him to further contemplation. Soon after, a recovered Cha Min-young thanked Han Da-eun and mentioned that after Moon Jong-jun's death, Kang Bit-na found her at a church. At that time, Cha Min-young still resented Kang Bit-na, but Kang told her that it was normal to feel happy about Moon Jong-jun's death and not to feel guilty, suggesting she confess at the church. This conversation brought Cha Min-young great comfort and made Han Da-eun curious about what kind of person Kang Bit-na was. Meanwhile, Kang Bit-na was reprimanded by the dean for only fining Moon Jong-jun 3 million won before releasing him. The dean also criticized her appearance, hair, makeup, and clothes, which did not meet the standards. The dean remarked that she would have been exiled to the countryside if not for the support of Assemblyman Young. Unaware of who Assemblyman Young was, her colleagues thought she had lost her memory in an accident and informed her that her engagement to Young's eldest son was called off. Kang Bit-na was indifferent about the broken engagement as she had 9 more murder missions to complete quickly. Her assistant suggested that she could cozy up to Han Da-eun to get information since the list of fugitives was with the police. Kang Bit-na rushed to the police station, falsely claiming to be Han Da-eun's girlfriend to get his address. During their conversation, she probed Han Da-eun about the fugitives. Han Da-eun stated it was confidential work information. Kang Bit-na then started to get Han Da-eun drunk to loosen his tongue. Once he was intoxicated, she tried again to get the list of unarrested murderers, noting it would be great if she could complete all 9. Han Da-eun asked her to keep it secret, then revealed his own name, admitting he was a murderer who had killed 3 people, and he could still recall the smell of blood. Kang Bit-na thought he was just drunk and rambling. After all, how could a murderer become a policeman? Han Da-eun replied that he was very young at the time. Realizing he was serious, Kang Bit-na asked if the victims' families had forgiven him. Han Da-eun recalled that they never forgave him and prayed for his damnation after death. Realizing her second target was close by, Kang Bit-na couldn't help but smile and pressed Han Da-eun to admit his crimes. Han Da-eun confessed to his murders. Kang Bit-na further inquired if she could meet with the victims' families. Han Da-eun responded that one of the family members was sitting right next to her, possibly referring to himself. Kang Bit-na didn't grasp the meaning of his words and tried to wake the drunk Han Da-eun, only to see tears in his eyes. The next day, when Han Da-eun woke up, Kang Bit-na asked if what he said the previous day was true. Without much thought, Han Da-eun asked her to keep it secret, but Kang Bit-na produced a blade and stabbed him. Kang Bit-na mistakenly identified Han Da-eun as a murderer.